Now, an investor approached me today and he told me, John, I have Kenya shillings 500,000 and I want to know where I can put this amount of money to double. So when I heard the money is supposed to double, then I just told myself, this guy wants to make this 500,000 to be 1 million. So the investor went on and described and said, I want to double this particular amount in an account. I don't want to do any business with this amount. I don't want to do any business with this amount. Then I realized this investor, he is some sort of risk averse, doesn't want to take a lot of risk when it comes to businesses. I said, okay, then I can be able to help this particular investor. Then he went on and said, asked me, which is the account that you can recommend for savings whereby this money is going to gain some interest, competitive interest? Then automatically I knew that answer. It was a money market fund account, because money market fund account, it's going to have interest that are not constant. They keep on rising and going down depending on the market conditions. Then there is aspect of compounding that is associated with money market funds. So I told this investor, you can try money market funds because of the compounding effect. And of course, you can leave your money for as long as you want for it to gain some interest. Investor was like, oh yeah, that is a very good. Actually, I have heard about money market fund for some time, and then I recommended it's one of the best money market funds. I recommend to the investor one of the best money market funds in the market. Of course, I'm not going to mention it here. But of course, if you want to open a money market fund account, you can go to my profile. You are going to see a link there. That link that you are going to see, it's one of the best money market funds that I recommended the investor. All right, I'm not going to mention it here. Now, so the investor told me, John, can you tell me how long it's going to take for this money to actually multiply to 1 million? Right now is 500,000. Right now is 500,000, and the investor wants to make this money to Kenya shillings 1 million. Then I told the investor, then this one we have to do some manual calculations, because there is no calculator online that is going to give you this summation or give you solve this particular problem. The only the calculators that we have in the online money market funds is where you key in the figures and then they are going to tell you the amount that you are supposed to obtain at the end of the investment period. Now it's like the investor wanted the vice versa. Now, given all the values, but now you are supposed to identify the investment period that is going to take for this investor to actually multiply their money from 500,000 to 1 million. All right. Now, I went down to calculations and I was able to advise the investor and the investor was very happy actually. And actually, we found out that it's not a long period of time for the money to multiply from 500,000 to 1 million. So in this particular video, I'll be able to show you what I calculated for the investor and the solution that we came up with and the recommendations and how the investor was happy at the end of everything. Now, let's get to the business of the day by seeing what I told the investor. Now, but before I continue with this particular explanation, remember, my name is John Mweri. I'm a professional accountant with ex-FinOp Accountancy and Insurance Consultancy. And this is what I normally do. If you're seeing me for the first time, this is what I normally do. I come here to give guys and ladies and gentlemen, I come here to give you ways in which to invest, how to open up businesses, how to grow your investment portfolio, how to have an extra source of income, how to manage your resources well, how to manage your money, and so on and so on. All right. And this is what we normally do, such cases to help each other grow financially. And of course, have a strategy in which we can use so that we can secure our financial freedom. In this particular platform, if you're seeing me for the first time, in this particular platform, our ultimate goal is to become financially free. That our financial freedom is our ultimate goal, and that's why we have to work hard and apply those strategies that we normally talk about in this particular channel. So this is another reason for you to remain subscribed to my YouTube channel, because I release a video each and every day, a video like this, and it's going to have a lot of information that you can be able to access and of course utilize. All right, now without further explanation, let me get to the business of the day and explain and see how we were able to advise this particular investor. All right, now remember, let me have the particulars here. Remember, this investor has Kenya shillings 500k. Now the investor wants to make this money to double this amount, so this one is going to be times 2, which is equals to be 1 million. So we already have what we need after n period. We already have what we need after n period. So we already have our 1 million that we need after our n period, which we don't know. We don't know this, and that is what we are trying to come up with. All right. So we are trying to identify the number of the period in years, or the period in time that is going to take us for us to multiply this, to make this 500,000 to 1 million without any contribution or without any monthly contribution. Now, our interest rate, we were able to discuss with the investor and actually looked at different money market funds and concluded with 11.5% as the average interest rate as we talk right now. But we did not we just assumed that the interest 11.5% being the minimal interest in money market funds, like the average interest is going to be constant. So we just assumed a constant interest rate, right? And we took 11.5%. And if you divide this one by 100 to make it into decimal places, this one is going to be 0.115, right? Good. Now, that was it. And then this one is our future value. Then we have our present value being 500k, all right? Our future value is 1 million that we are looking, that we already want. So we know we want 1 million, and we know our interest rate is 11.5%. And we know our present value is 500k. So what we are looking for is the period in time. All right. Now let's see. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, just like the old times, our future value is equals to, will be our present value. That is 1 plus r raised to power 1 plus r over f raised to power and f. All right, and our future value here is equals to 1 million, Our present value here is equals to 500,000, and this one is what we are multiplied by 2 to get 1 million. Then our required rate of return is equals to 11.5%, or 0.115, and then our frequency of compounding is equals to daily, or 365 days. So our frequency of compounding is daily compounding, or 365 days. These are the kind of calculations we did with the investor so that we can find out how long it is going to take for us to make this 500k to 1 million. Now, we went down to implement what we have here onto our formula. So we said our future value, which is 1 million, is equals to 500,000. Then this one is going to be into brackets, that is 1 plus required rate of return is 0.115 over 365 raised to power 365 times n, right? I hope you are getting that. So we said our 1 million is equals to 500k, all right, into brackets. So we can work out what is in the brackets. So just take out your calculator and help me calculate this. This is 0.115 divided by 365 plus 1. So we get 1 point, this is 1.0003. Then into brackets 365 times n, it becomes 365n when you walienda high school. You remember us multiplying the unknowns with knowns. So it becomes 365n. Now, here we have 500k and here we have 1 million. So we can actually eliminate this 500k and move it to the other side. Hapa ni kama nakufunza mathematics ya high school. So divide by 500k, here divide by 500k. So if you divide 1 million divided by 500k, 1 million divided by 500,000, so that one gives you 2. So 2 is equals to, into brackets, 1.0003 raised to power 365 n. Fantastic. We are still moving on. So if you have a solution, if you have something like this, so you have to power of 365n, how do you do it? So here is when you introduce, if you remember in high school when we are doing logarithms, here you introduce logs on both sides. So here it's like you are going to have, just to rewrite this, 1.0003 raised to power 365n is equals to 2. So to move this one, this amount here to here, you're going to say 365n log 1.0003 is equals to log 2. Then you can divide the logs on both sides. You divide by log 1.0003 divide by log 1.0003. So hapa tutafanya, we are doing investments at the same time we are doing mathematics. So we are learning a lot of things actually, how to calculate these things. Si lazima ukishindwa kwenda kwa calculator ya money market fund, you can do your own calculation. It's not a na ukiona, by the way, these guys, unajua it's good to have this knowledge for knowledge purpose, kwa sababu there is a way even the calculator can be altered. So it's always good to know how to calculate these things manually, because hata hiyo calculator zinaweza haribika ikudanganye. So our 365n is equals to what? So if you divide log 2, if you have a scientific calculator, divided by log what? 1.0003. So you get 2311. Now divide by 365 on this side, divide by 365 on this side. So our n is equals to what? Divided by 365. That is 6.3. 6.3. And our 6.3, remember, we took our interest rate as annual because this one was per annum. So we did not divide by 12. We just expressed it in terms of zeros or decimal places. So our 6.3 is in years. All right. So for this investor to make their 500k to 1 million without contributing anything in a money market fund account that is going to have 11.5% interest rate, assumed to be constant. Assumed, the word is assumed, because of course it's not going to be constant. No. So this amount, this 6.3 years, it can be 5.8 years, 5.5 years. It can be also 6.8. It depends with how the interest is going to be. So it cannot be constant like that, because the interest rates can either go up or they can either go down, because money market funds, the interest rates are unpredictable, because these guys or the fund managers, see, we normally say they invest in short-term debt instruments such as commercial papers, treasury bills and bonds. Now unajua, right now as we talk, you all know that the interest rates of money market funds have gone down. There is the number one reason why they went down is because of the treasury bills. The treasury bill, 91-day treasury bill that is normally used by fund managers, sahi iko below 10%. So unapata a money market fund like ZD, they have put their interest to 7-point-something%. So you can see, but those fund managers who normally go an extra mile and incur some certain risk, for example, to invest in CPs. CPs is commercial papers. because CPs are going to have a higher interest rate, for example, 24%, 20% and above. So those are the ones that have maintained the interest to be like 11% net. And when it comes to gross, is 14%, 15% there. So they are investing in commercial papers and other short-term debt instruments. So this one is not going to be constant. It's going to vary. So no one should lie to you, because the interest rates in money market funds are not going to be constant. The only thing that can never change in money market fund is the aspect of compounding. And compounding is daily compounding, 365 days. Not, but when you contribute money monthly, your money is going to be compounded daily, but prorated in such that if you contributed money on July and the year ends on December, then it's going to be compounded for those, how many months? 6 months. All right. So it's going to be prorated. So they cannot be compounded for the whole year, 365 days. It's going to be compounded 365 divided by 2 because of the time you contributed the money. Good. Now, I want to hear your views in the comment section. Tell me whether it's a good idea. You leave 500K in a money market fund account and you will be having your 1 million in 6.3 years without doing anything, just relaxing and checking whether the daily interest have actually earned on your account, and just monitoring. All right. And that's how we came with the figures with my investor. And immediately we finished this. The guy told me, John, prepare account. And then I give the referral account of Etika Money Market Fund, that the one that is in my profile, and the guy was able to put 500,000 and told me, John, let's be checking these things for the next 6 years. And the guy told me that, by the way, in the next 2 years, I'm going to add 2 million in the same money market fund. Because what was the goal of this investor? The goal was to have some financial freedom or financial security, whereby the guy will have some accumulated funds after 6 or 10 years to give what we call passive income without working, because this is guy who is planning for retirement slowly by slowly. So that is how we came up, and we agreed, and then the guy was happy, the investor was happy, and we completed like that. Now, if you feel like you want to do the same and you still need more explanation on the same here, you can look for my contacts in the description. It's always there, so that we can talk and see how we can build an investment portfolio. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was my time. Hope you enjoyed. See you in my next video. Be safe.